Hello, I'm Sugar, and this is the route my team and I used for Necrotic Wake. This is from Dratnos' weekly route maps and includes one skip that needs stealth, invisibility potion, or a shroud. We have done this route several times with and without a Kyrian in the group, and it's proven successful. I've left a link to the route with my notes in the description. Pull 1 starts with the pack of patchwork soldiers in the front and 3 blight bags to the left. Once these are down a little bit, we chain pull the 4-pack of blight bags to the right. The soldiers and blight bags jump around a lot, which is really annoying. To counter this, we use stuns, roots, or vortexes. The blight bags also explode, and that can be used on other mobs, but be careful with this, especially during bursting weeks. Pull 2 is a stitched vanguard, a corpse harvester, and another soldier. Interrupt the vanguard's meat shield cast to prevent it from gaining an absorb shield, and soothe the seething rage around 3 to 4 stacks to decrease the damage on your tank. The cast to interrupt on the harvester is drain fluids. If it successfully finishes its channel, it stuns the targeted player. Pull 3 contains 2 soldiers, 5 blight bags, 2 harvesters, and 1 vanguard. Keep using your CCs to counter and interrupt these. We used the spear on this pack since it was fortified. When you have 1 mob remaining, the first pride spawns. If you have a Kyrian in the group, they can activate the Goliath for the orb buff. After the pride, it's time for the first boss and pull 4. We pulled the boss and the 3 soldiers together because we had the pride buff and we used hero. You don't have to pull the soldiers with the boss, it's fine to do them after. For this boss, we don't have many tricks, but we always face the heaving wretch behind the boss and kite along the wall where we cleared the trash. Pull 5 starts with 2 blight bags that we pull up the platform and into the 3 soldiers and 2 harvesters. Coordinate who is interrupting which harvester to avoid overlapping them. Make your way up the stairs for pull 6 and focus the Zormalis Necromancer while interrupting the Brittlebone Mage's Frostbolt volleys. If you have forms of CC that work against these, use them on the mages or crossbowmen. I use my CDs for this pull to help burn it quicker. Pull 7 is 3 blight bags, and this is generally where we would spawn our second pride, but we missed 2 pathing soldiers in the main area. So for pull 8, we grabbed the skeletal bone menders instead. These bone menders cast a constant heal, which is rather annoying and why we usually prefer to skip them. The second pride will spawn here. If you have a Kyrian in the group, they can activate the Goliath. Pull 9 is a bone mender, sorcerer, and a marauder. The Marauder is the most dangerous in this pack because of its frontal cleave ability and its rasping scream. To quickly kill it, hold your burst for when the mob's Bone Shatter shield is up, and nuke through it to do 80% of its HP when it shatters. After these are down, we skip past the 4-pack with stealth, invisibility, or a shroud. If you are very careful, you can pick up the spear located on the right-hand side. I have screwed this up a time or 2, but it is doable and very helpful to have the spear for the later bosses. Pull 10 is 2 marauders. Focus whichever one casts Bone Shatter shield first, while interrupting the rasping scream of both of them. Pull 11 is another Necromancer and Brittlebone adds. CC what you can and focus the Necromancer down while interrupting the Mage's Frostbolt volley. If you have a Kyrian, they can activate the Goliath here. Walk back the way you came, avoiding pulling any pathing mobs. Pull 12 is a Sorcerer and Bone Carver. Focus the Bone Carver down first as it leaves a nasty dot on your tank, reducing their HP by 15% that stacks. Pull 13 is a Sorcerer, Bone Carver, and Marauder. Focus the Bone Carver until the Marauder casts its shield, then burst through the shield and switch back to the Bone Carver. This pack can be extra painful if you're out of defensive, so be careful. You can use the hammer on the Bone Carver here, or save it for the Pride. After this is down, the 3rd Pride spawns. Be careful not to back into the next pack while doing the Pride. For pull 14, we take 2 packs together since we have the Pride buff. 2 bone carvers and 8 shuffling corpses. Nothing too special here, just focus one of the bone carvers and use stuns if you have them. There is a spear here that you can pick up as well. Pull 15 is a Necromancer and Brittlebone adds. I let my tank get aggro on the mobs and then go through to start the RP for the next boss. This works better if you have some CC for these. I should have used my interrupt on a mage first and then started the RP to make this a little easier on the group. You can pick up an orb in the boss room that you can use on the boss or save for later. At the second boss, we position over in the corner to help make grouping the adds easier. Since we don't have Pride for this boss, we always use Hero here. You can also CC adds and leave them up for the final harvest, and the boss will kill them off without the group taking extra damage. Once upstairs, pull 17 is 2 soldiers, 1 corpse collector, and 6 spare parts. The corpse collector casts 2 things that are deadly to the party, Gore Splatter and Drain Fluids. Gore Splatter takes first priority because if it goes off, it applies a lethal dot to the group. Drain Fluids is also important because it stuns at the end of its casts, and having a stunned healer or DPS can easily domino into death. Pull 18 is a soldier, corpse collector, Kyrian stitchwork, and 3 spare parts. Our tank used the orb on this pack that we picked up before the second boss. Keep your interrupts going on the corpse collector and use some defensives for the tenderize and mutilate from the stitchwork. Pull 19 is a loyal creation and a flesh crafter. If you kill the flesh crafter before the loyal creation, it gains a buff increasing its attack speed by 50%. The flesh crafter will cast Throw Cleaver, and you can position this to hit the loyal creation. If the loyal creation is dead, your tank should eat this. Don't forget to interrupt the repair flesh casts. The 4th Pride spawns when these mobs are down. Pull 20 is 2 soldiers, a corpse collector, and a stitchwork. Handle these as before and interrupt them as much as possible. Pull 21 is 2 soldiers, a flesh crafter, a corpse collector, and a loyal creation. Interrupts on the corpse collector and flesh crafter. After this pull, the boss RP will start and you'll have pulls 22 to 24. For pull 22, focus the separation assistant first because of the fixate. Keep interrupts up on the stitching assistant for drain fluids. Pull 23, we used a spear on Gorgrind since it was Fortified week and he's the harder of the 2 mini-bosses. After pull 24, the last Pride spawns. Make sure you tank it away from Rotspew's body as it emits an AoE from the cloud. We pulled the 3rd boss with the Pride buff and saved Hero for when Surgeon Stitchflesh was pulled down. I also used a spear here to help us one-phase it. Once the boss was down, we still had some uptime on Hero, so we immediately took the portal and engaged the last boss, Nalthor the Rhymebinder. I don't have many tips for this one, other than wait till the Comet Storm is over before coming up from exile or you have a high chance of death. I hope this helps in your Mythic Plus runs. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Okay, bye!